and coming to you from Highland Cycles with another install tech video. Today we are working on the 125 XC again. Thanks to my friends at RK Tek Heads, two-stroke performance guys up in Idaho. Kelsey at RK Tek reached out and said, hey, I've got a solution for your 125 to get a whole bunch more low end, still rip on top without spending a bunch of money. And I said, okay, what's that? And he sent me this. This is their insert for the 125. You can see he's got his kind of proprietary pattern in there. Also, it has been decked, raising compression, changing the squish, and all that stuff. So, and just so you guys know what the squish is, let me see if I can. So it's this angle here, like right there to the piston, and you want to get that to optimize performance. You want to get that dialed into the right angle and the right amount, and anyway, all that stuff, because it's kind of squishing the fuel and air towards the middle of the cylinder. And it is super important if you want ultimate, like, optimum performance. Now, on a 300 or a 250, sheesh, they already make so much power. Like, I don't know really how important it is unless you're just begging for the horsepower all the time. On a 125, though, I think it's very important because, especially a full-grown adult like myself, I'm too heavy for this motorcycle. But I love riding it, so I want to get as much power out of it as I can without going to a big bore. I don't like big bore 125s or stroker 125s because it takes away that really awesome top end scream and the speed that it revs. So I don't like that. But if we can raise compression and get it dialed in for this elevation and get the jetting right, I think it's going to be really cool. So join me as we install this thing and then jet the carburetor for it. So to start, we are going to drain the coolant, which is, you know, not a big deal, but if you guys don't know, on a KTM, see this bolt? If you look in there tight, you can see there's a copper washer behind it. And there's not copper washers behind the rest of them. So that is the drain. And it's not gonna go crazy coming out of there yet because the cap is still on. So I'm gonna set you guys down. This also gives me a chance to install the Evans coolant, which I like running in two strokes, and which they supplied me. So huge thanks to Evans Power Sports Coolant because they are sponsoring this video along with RK. Thank you both very, very much. I love Evans waterless coolant in two strokes. I personally don't love it in four strokes because I think it lets them get too hot before they boil, and then they do damage, and anyway, that's no good. But that's a personal opinion. I know that the guys at Evans don't totally agree with that, but that's how I feel. So anyway, I really, really like it in my two-stroke though. So, all right, coolant is drained. Now we gotta take this hose off, which I believe is a 6mm. Before I take this thing off, I've just been looking, and there's some dirt in there, so I want to get that out of there. I cleaned this thing before, but I obviously missed some of the dirt like up under the tank, so no big deal. All right, so we got that loose. We should be able to just pop this off, just tuck it out of the way, put our hose clamp down here where we won't lose it. And now we need 10mm socket, and we'll just pop this head right off. All right, we got all the bolts out. Now wiggle this little guy loose and take a look, and that actually looks pretty good for what I've been jetting. I'm really happy actually with the way that head looks. Now I'm gonna pull this insert out of this head, and then let's take a really close look at the differences between it and the RK head so you guys can really understand what a big difference it actually is. All right, so here is our stock head. Try to get most of that carbon off of there. And let's see, there we go. There is the RK head, and you can see, other than the pattern obviously cut into this one, you can see that this dome is way deeper, and it has a very steep like edge going this way before it comes out, whereas this dome is much like shallower, right? Like overall shallower, and then also the angle is very shallow going towards that, and that what that's going to do is help that squish it. Well, that's the squish, right? So as the piston's coming towards this, it's squishing the air and fuel this way, and that's going to make it go in here and burn really efficiently and raise the compression a bunch. So now you'll notice the difference, the distance between this surface and this surface is basically the same as the distance between this surface and this surface. That's because the piston, as the piston comes up, if you lowered this surface too much, the piston would hit it. So they get the compression by filling this in, and by filling it in, I mean they machine a new one of these with just a lot less material taken out. So anyway, that's that. Now we're gonna take our head, we're gonna clean it really good. Gonna take our brand new O-ring that RK sent us. Again, thank you, RK, and thank you for companies who send these kind of things with these kits. It is a 30-cent part, I don't know, maybe less than that, and it makes it so nice that I don't have to go find one or remember to buy one anyway, because that's the stock one. All right, so we take our O-ring, take our head, and we're just gonna come over here all nice and easy. Boom, there we go. And that O-ring needs to fit nice and tight and be down in that groove right there. Now we're going to put their head back on, tighten these bolts down, and then we're going to work on the jetting. All right, so I got the jets back in there, and I forgot I got to put our Evans coolant in here. So Evans, quick talk about that. Evans is a waterless coolant, so it means you don't mix any water with the ethylene glycol or whatever mixture they have anywhere. Anyway, it's super cool because it doesn't have water in it. It won't boil till 375 degrees. Like I said, that is way too hot for a 4-stroke. The thing about 2-strokes is they just get less hot in general. So I like it a lot. It also adheres to the metal better, which then helps pull heat out of the metal and get it to the radiator where it can then radiate that heat into the world. So I really like Evans. Thank you guys at Evans for giving me this coolant. I really appreciate it. It doesn't take much to install except that you want to fill it, run it, drain it, and then fill it up again so you get all the water out of the system. You can add water to Evans, like in a pinch if you got a hole or whatever leaked out or something like that. All it does is lower the boiling point. It doesn't hurt anything. It doesn't mess anything up. It doesn't congeal or do weird things to your cooling system. It just lowers the boiling point. So yeah, gonna pour some Evans in here. We don't fill it all the way up. We're just gonna put some in, run the bike a little bit, drain that out, put it in, fill it all the way up, and then we'll go take this thing for a test ride in the snow. All right, here we go. Swap. Like I said, we're not filling it all the way up. We're just putting a few cups of coolant in there and trying to get that to run through here and then drain it out. So you don't want to run the bike for all that long because it could get too hot. So just kind of want to run a little bit, get a little heat in the system, and we're going to drain it and fill it all the way up. the way home, man. Right on, there we go. Yeah, I think we're ready to go take it for a test ride and kind of feel how it is. I really, because it's snowy and nasty outside, I'm not really going to be able to test it really well yet. Hopefully I'll get out this weekend and test it, but there you go. That's installing the RK Tek Head, the insert on a 125. Super, super simple. Make sure you guys stay tuned and subscribe to the channel because I've got an RK Tek 300 head for a TPI bike that we're going to be putting on my buddy Andrew's bike, coupled with a Power Commander 5, and then RK's custom map for that Power Commander to test out and see if we can't make one of the TPI bikes run as good as a carbureted bike. Anyway, hope you guys like that video. Hope you get out, spread the gospel of two wheels, and as always, I hope what we're doing here at Highland Cycles is inspiring you to work on and get out and ride your dirt bikes!